everything without offending. So now my mouth is in the jailhouse with cases pending. First Amendment, you replaced it, rigged it, dumbed it down. It's not an option. Some of it I understand.
SMT Nation, we back. We're doing this video today because Tito, Aloha Android, Ayo Tito, you guys know him, asked me to do this video. So I'm doing it for him. I want to give him my impressions, my experiences with the Google Pixel 7. Alright, now I purchased this phone about a month ago. I got it on like a Black Friday deal. And I absolutely adore it. I think this phone is great. It's been very enjoyable. I want to give you guys some of the experiences I've had and then tell you about what I perceive are the strengths, the biggest improvements compared to last generation, and then also the weaknesses, things that Google needs to address in the next iteration of this phone. So for starters, just when I picked up this phone, it was on a Black Friday deal. I picked it up, I don't know, that week of whatever that Cyber Monday was, and I took advantage of an offer where they were giving $100 off the phone. So this phone sells at like $599. I got it for $499, so it was $100 off the actual device. And then they did a trade-in with my old Google Pixel. I ended up getting $550 trade-in for my old Pixel 6 Pro. So Google actually gave me a credit, a full refund for $500 for the cost of the phone. And then the additional $50 went to in-store credits for the Google Store. So I got a great deal on the device. So that's kind of where it's at with the value. It was great. The trade-in process was great. I got great value for the old device, and I got $100 off the phone, so it's a good buy. All right, now strengths. In terms of the phone itself, there are a lot of strengths. I know a lot of people, see a lot of, watch a lot of content and videos from creators who use phones and review phones, and they're down on the Pixel devices. I'm not one of those people. I'm up on the Pixel devices. One of the strengths I wanted to describe to you guys here is the design. This is a nice looking phone. I don't do the whole like sexy phone thing. I know some people do. It's not really my style. But this phone is well designed, looks good. Everything from like the back and the camera visor here at the top end of the phone. I like the design language of this. It's improved compared to last year, in my opinion. I think it's better. I do really, really like the design, and it's a form factor that I can live with. All right, in terms of the size of the phone, it's easy to handle. It's kind of sort of narrow compared to last generation. I had the 6 Pro. So that's a little bit unique and different about it. But I like the hole punch compared to like a dynamic island or having like a notch. I think this is a little bit less intrusive. And I mean, just overall metal build on the rails. You guys can hear it's kind of a plasticky. I'm okay with that. That doesn't faze me. That doesn't bother me at all. Plastic doesn't mean cheap to me. It just means more durable, perhaps. I don't know. To each their own. But the design is good. The software is a strength, obviously. I think the Android version that's on the Pixel experience is the best in the industry. I think it's the best smartphone experience when it comes to lifestyle features. And just, smoothness. Operationally, I don't really have app crashes. I don't have system failures. Software updates are great. All right, so that's a strength in my opinion. I think also the display is really nice. Remember, you're coming in at like $599. So you're getting an OLED display. It's really nice. No weird off-angle type of problems with this, I think it's really nice. It's fluid. Okay, so just my opinion on that. Everybody's got a preference. I do think the Galaxy devices have a better display. What Samsung does with their like S lineup, I think those are the best, but this one's pretty good. The iPhone's got a really nice display too. I have a 14 Pro Max. So how does this compare to those phones? Well, this phone's like half the price of those phones, and and it's pretty comparable. It performs pretty well. It's been nice. It gets bright, or bright enough, I should say. I haven't had issues where it wasn't bright enough, and it's very smooth, fluid. Refresh rate's fine. I don't really have any qualms with the display. It's been enjoyable. Also, the camera photography has been great. Best in industry camera photography. Point, shoot, focus, whatever. It's the best in my opinion. What Google puts together for just still photography is the best. Point and shoot. It's easy. No troubles. People ask me to take photos for them all the time using this phone, weddings and stuff like that, because it's the best, and Samsung does a really good job with photography, so does the iPhone, but this one is the best in the industry, in my opinion. Now, in terms of improvements, things that have really gotten better compared to the last generation, I think the cellular has improved a lot. I didn't really have the same issues with cellular that I did last generation with the 6 Pro that had to get updated, through software updates, firmware updates, whatever. This was pretty much good to go out of the box. I've got a T-Mobile SIM in there. As you see, I'm connected to 5G. For the most part, it's always on 5G. It does have some issues at times with, I think, what T-Mobile's doing on my tower site, but I don't think that's a phone issue. I think it's a T-Mobile issue. And I have also been using the 7 Pro on Verizon, and that one doesn't have any issues. So that leads me to think it's more T-Mobile than it is the actual phone. So cellular's been good, dependable, all those great things, with the exception of the T-Mobile issues. I think also what's improved is the video recording. That's been great. Just to kind of throw that out there, the video camera performance is a little bit restricted compared to the Pro because it doesn't have all the same sensors. This one has less of that camera capability in terms of video and photography because it has one less sensor. If you're a photography or video recording snob, you want the best of the best, you want to get a Pro. This one is plenty good, but the other phone does offer more in terms of that. So that might be important for some people to consider. Also improved is the Tensor 2, the actual processor. That is a huge improvement compared to last generation. The phone doesn't get as hot as last generation. It doesn't have the trouble with like rendering and editing video that I do with my apps. Overall, as an experience, I think this processor is much, much better compared to last generation. And that's specifically why I wanted to upgrade from a 6 Pro to a 7. I think that processor experience matters enough to where it warrants an upgrade. It's just more refined. It's better tuned. I think it's a better piece of hardware, and they figured out some things and fixing it, making it better. Now, in terms of the weaknesses, to kind of cover those things, I think, first of all, you got to talk about charging times. The charging times on this phone are the longest charging times of all the phones I have. And, I don't know if it's 15 or 18 watt or whatever, or 25 watt. Like, they give you chargers that you can buy from Google and things like that. I just wish it was a little bit faster. It's a decent sized battery. It does need a good charge. I wish it charged a little bit faster. If it charged 20 or 30% faster, it would be a huge win for me. And it didn't really change from last generation. So that's an area I think needs to be fixed and improved, because I would consider it to be a weakness. Additionally, the battery life I think is average. I think it's fine. I would like to see it get better. I think part of my battery life problem is the fact that I've got a T-Mobile SIM in it. I guess I could test it with the Verizon SIM, but my 7 Pro doesn't have that issue, so it might be carrier related. My 7 Pro has a Verizon SIM. So I'll have to do more testing on that, specifically monitor those things in app usage and cellular standby. But that's something I can tell you that I would like to see that improve a little bit. Even if it did improve by an additional, 10 or 15%, it would make a huge difference. Additionally, I think, when you look at some of the other things like the on-display fingerprint scanner, it's average at best. It's not the best on-screen fingerprint scanner. I think some other companies have done a better job of this, but it's fine. When I put a screen protector on it, it becomes more challenging to get a good, clean reading for the on-display fingerprint scanner. So I'll show you guys kind of what I mean. So here it is locked, right? And I'll just casually try to unlock it. And if you don't land it perfect, it won't scan well. And it's because of the screen protector that I put on there. But I want to protect my phone, right? So it works most of the time. You just got to be a little bit more particular with and deliberate with your landing spot. And, if you got dirty fingers or something like that, it becomes a nightmare to try to unlock. So that, I think, is a weakness and could be fixed and address that. And the last thing I want to mention in terms of operationally, this phone does get warm. Not as bad as the last generation Tensor chip. This one is better, but it still runs warm. And there are some processes that really tax it and kind of create some concern and worry. Again, I can record 4K That's not an issue or anything like that. It's not like last generation, but I still feel it get warm, especially in certain tasks. I would like that to become a thing of the past, whether it's with active cooling or heat dissipation. I don't know what Google's got to do there, but I would like to see them improve that. I think that's got to be a thing of the past moving forward. They have to fix the thermal issue there. Okay, so what are my takeaways on this phone? How do I feel about it? Using it now for a month, and you know, where does it stand with me in my rotation and all of those things? I can use any device I want. I review devices, I review services for carriers. You know, I use all these features. I edit video, record video, use all these applications. And here's my takeaway. This phone is an extremely high value. You're not going to find many phones that hit on so many cylinders and so many checkboxes at this price point. I think it's a huge value. That's where it's very, very strong. In my opinion, I think it might be one of the better values in the industry. There are phones that are better than this phone, but they are much more expensive. So you have to kind of consider cost when analyzing. If I compare this to an S22, this phone is a lot cheaper. You're coming in at $599, maybe $499 with a deal. An S22, you're coming in at like $800. If you're getting an Ultra, right, you're going over $1,000. The iPhone comes in at $800. You know, these kind of things have to be considered when it comes to the value and what you're getting to performance. It really can't be beat. It's a very good overall package. It does check off so many things. You don't have to buy a quote-unquote flagship to get a good performer, and this one performs and feels like a flagship. Yes, the Pro model is better in the Google 7 Pro, but this one is plenty good and does like 95% of the same things in the same way. With the exception of a couple of things, it's really hitting on most of those checkboxes. I personally don't see this phone as having too many holes in its games. I gave you guys the weaknesses. I told you what things I think they improved on and what they need to continue to improve on over at Google. But this phone is a major, major go, and I think a lot of you should be considering it if you're looking for a good value in the Android space and you don't want to break the bank, but get a flagship-like experience. I've enjoyed it. Again, you get my recommendation for it. Google sent me a Google Pixel 7 Pro, and I liked it so much I bought a 7 with my own money. So there's your receipts. I told you guys I would do it, and I did. Tito, I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's anything you guys want to know about this phone or have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I'll try to answer those. I've enjoyed it. I've loved it. It's been great. It's a recommend. I can definitely tell you guys they fixed a lot of things compared to the last generation, and it continues to get better with time as updates come in, and it's getting great support. But any of you out there have this phone? Have you enjoyed it? Again, I copped the Lemongrass 7. Enjoyed it. I've been using this case. It's the Rinky Clear case. It's been great, really nice. I also have a black Rinky case. That's a good brand, I recommend. But tell me what you guys think of your experiences with this phone, or if you have a 7 Pro, or if you guys returned it, you didn't like it. Everybody's got their preferences. Tell me about what yours are and what you guys think of these devices. Thanks for watching. Big shout out to Tito, and big shout out to my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters for making content on this channel possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. We shall see you all on the next video. Peace.